16th, 2019, Litchfield Board of Selectmen meeting. The board has just come out of a paperwork review. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:30 and ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. To start, we have a public service announcement. LCTV will be down for about a half an hour on Wednesday, December 18th from 6:30 in the morning till approximately 7 o'clock in the morning due to Comcast system upgrade. First we have is the review and approval of consent items. We have the December 9th, 2019 meeting minutes, account payroll manifest of December 17th, 2019 in the sum of $152,144.09, a payroll manifest of December 19th, 2019 in the sum of $62,974.64. We have the November town clerk reconciliation, and we have the municipal processor contract termination. Are there any items members would like to remove from consent?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a note and add this, that we made our public prosecutor, Brad, he's no longer a contracted employee. He is now a part-time employee.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion for approval?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the items of consent.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Larry. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Do we have any other business that members would like to add to the agenda this evening? Hearing none. Public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 p.m. The first item of business is Sean Flynn, Capital Improvement Committee Citizen Volunteer Interview. Mr. Flynn, if you want to sit forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Sean Flynn. I live at 9 Martin Lane, Litchfield. I've been there just over 4 years now.
Okay, welcome. Thank you
you.
for throwing your name in to be part of the capital improvement plan.
Thank you for seeing me.
Yeah. Mr. Brown, do we have anything to add?
No, I just wanted to mention, I wanted to thank Mr. Flynn for expressing interest. We had sent, we posted the opening seeking volunteers to serve on our website, and I know Mr. Brown sent it around on our social media. Mr. Flynn responded to that, and I guess the only question I have you served on any previous municipal boards or committees from in any other town or in this town? Or?
I've been on American Legion boards or presidential board. I haven't done any town, municipal, anything like that. Just, the private, the VFW.
Yeah, it's not required, but this will be, we're long overdue updating our capital improvements plan.
Oh, yeah?
Different approach really this time. And the past plan that was prepared was done, I believe, by the planning board. And then the citizens town meeting ballot vote authorized the Board of Selectmen to create a capital improvements plan. So we, the Board of Selectmen, created a committee where it consists of school representation, select board representation, budget committee, planning board, and then we wanted to have some folks from the just citizens that weren't really involved kind of coming forward with neutral, unbiased opinions, no connection to anything, just as a citizen.
Yeah.
And have that kind of input. So that's the process we're trying to create here, and that's why Mr. Flynn's here, and I'm glad that he expressed interest. We had 2 citizens apply.
Gentlemen, any questions?
Yeah. What is your background? Just curiosity.
My background?
You in construction or
I
look for your expertise in what this could be.
I made a power production, more of a maintenance guy with the FAA in Nashua.
That's beautiful.
I take care of the power for air traffic control center. So make sure we have backup generators, battery systems.
That's part of the CIP. It's about the capital improvements, what it's about, buildings, stuff like that. That's excellent. Thank you.
It's a great time. Mr. Lemire, you had something?
I do. What piqued your interest about the committee? I thank you for
Nothing-
it, but,
oh, no,
but what
um,
piqued your interest about signing up?
I've been wanting to get involved in town for a little while. I've been looking, I see mosquito abatement board and zoning, and I just wanted to be more involved. I have young kids in school in town here. My wife's pretty involved with the school, Griffin Memorial.
Mhm.
And I just want to be more involved, I guess, kind of networking and meet. I really don't, I've been here almost 5 years in town from Nashua, and I'm not involved. I don't know very many people other than my kids' parents, you know.
Sure.
It's a great way to do it.
So I just thought I want to be more involved. And
No, thank you. I
appreciate
you know,
that.
it's a way of giving back and a way of
Yeah.
getting involved, and I appreciate the fact that you stepped forward.
oh, thank you.
But I was just curious as to what might have piqued your interest in it. And that's good. That's great.
Weren't
Thank
you
you.
gonna put an addition on? Weren't you gonna put an addition on a while back ago?
Yeah.
Now I remember you.
Yeah.
Your in-laws, if I recall.
That's right.
In the back in the garage.
My
Yeah.
mother-in-law lives with us now. We put up a door on one side of the house, and she's over there.
Got a lock.
We didn't do an addition or anything like that.
I'm not, I don't want to put you on the air, but what are you saying?
It's too late. The assessors are already.
It's not no, it's not been there.
So I just want to say this. I really appreciate you stepping up, because a lot of times it ends up being the same people over and over again volunteering for different boards. And it's really, really nice to have somebody different. And with a background like you have, it'll be a good fit.
Oh, good. All right.
Thank you.
Great to have some new blood. Very good. Thank you for stepping forward.
Good. We're
Chairman, I
not-
move we accept the application of Mr. Sean Flint to serve on the Capital Improvements Planning Committee.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire. Second by Mr. Schaefer. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstain? Motion carries 500. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right.
Sean, I
Thank you.
believe you're going to have to be sworn in.
Sworn in, correct, yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we
need
will,
sworn
because
in.
it was a
And
little-
so I'll send you an email, Sean, when the town clerk's office, I'll submit the paperwork to them.
Okay.
And then during business hours, you need to come in, just take the oath of office.
Okay.
Okay?
It takes about 30 seconds.
I work a very,
Oh, that's you.
Very flexible. So
yeah,
I'll,
I'm off today, tomorrow, Wednesday, probably. And so,
okay.
We're shooting probably the first of the
Wednesday,
year.
if you're off Wednesday, day to come in and do it.
okay.
Doesn't take
Tax
long.
collection day.
My wife will
You
let
might
me.
want to, you might want, actually, looking at the
Yeah,
lines
stay away
today,
from
you
it.
might want to stay away. And-
Yeah.
We're not going to be having an organizational meeting probably until we're after the first of the year. So it's
First,
Yeah, okay.
January.
Here.
And most likely be here or will be
in this room or another
or
room.
the community center maybe. But
Oh,
we'll let
okay.
you know.
All right.
I'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Sean. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Have a good evening.
So while we're still just on that subject matter, I'm still waiting to receive word from the school department for their representative. We've heard from the budget committee.
Yes.
They've appointed Mr. Carter, but he'll be a non-voting member. The planning board, we have a representative. Chairman Weber is the representative of the board. And so with the non-voting member from the budget committee, that actually creates an open position for another voting member. And we had 2 applicants from citizens. So I'll schedule the other citizen. He wasn't able to make it here tonight in our next meeting. And,
We should move to having 2 citizens.
and so we
can
should
have that
just-
odd number
yeah.
voting.
because I had the committee set up so it was an odd number. So we'll just have to probably take a vote to just amend the membership of the committee at our next meeting.
Okay, you want to do it this evening? I mean, we
But you
have
can
one.
if you want. Yeah, to
Would somebody like to make a motion?
add a,
So moved.
We have a motion by Listener Lamb, second by Mr. Schaefer. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 500.
Okay.
The next item is the Pat Jewett Volunteer Appreciation award date, Monday, March 2nd, 2019. Mr. Brown.
Yeah, so Laura Gandia reached out to Pat Jewett, just make sure everything was good. This date worked well for Laura and for Pat. This date would be not a regular meeting night, so it's the first Monday of the month. However, the second Monday of the month is the eve of Election Day, so it probably would work out better, I think, for the board that we hold a ceremony on that evening. And if there's not much work, we could, we can meet a half an hour before the event, take care of some business.
Okay.
All depending on what's going on, but so I'll let Laura know, and the planning will proceed.
Perfect, thank you.
Can you give me permission to access the holiday?
The next item will be the 2020 holiday schedule.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I probably
It says I need permission.
Can we have permission, please?
Pretty please, we
Troy,
should
can I have
be on.
permission to, please?
Who has control of this? You, Karen? That explains a lot.
Yeah, I probably, copied it from last year's and I thought I had it in the same folder to reshare, but
That's all right.
Seems like holidays is the only one that doesn't work. They must be trying to hide something.
Yeah.
Trying to
Sneak an extra
sneak
day
in
in.
one extra one.
I got it.
Oh, you have it now. All right, sweet.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
John walks in
okay,
the
I
door and
like
it starts working.
it was only shared with
Coincidence?
IT always
So
makes it work.
this would be the same, the board every year in the personnel policy, it states that the board would set the holidays schedule. This replicates exactly what we've done for the past 2 years. Big change, 2 years ago was we're open, the town hall staff, excluding the town clerk, tax collector. We're open Civil Rights Day, but because the state, sometimes they close Civil Rights Day, sometimes they're open. So the town clerk, tax collector's office, they close Civil Rights Day, and they'll take an earned time day for that. And then we all, everyone is off Columbus Day as a paid holiday. So it's like we swap those holidays. It seems to be working well. No complaints.
The chairman, I move to accept the 2020 holiday schedule.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. The next item is the 2020 IRS mileage. Mr. Brown.
This time of the year, normally the IRS has set the mileage reimbursement rate for 2020. As of today, my last Google search, we had nothing but 2019 information. So where we're not meeting again until the new year, I would like to have the board vote to authorize me whatever is set by IRS that I can notify employees as such.
And us as well.
And
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire.
Move to authorize the town administrator to notify the employees of the 2020 IRS standard mileage rate as soon as it is approved.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Next, the Health and Human Service Agency funding. Mr. Brown.
all right, you don't have anything here.
I was going to say, no, I don't.
Yeah.
There isn't much to say.
There's a little bit to say. I was able late today, I was able to speak to representative from the Litchfield Women's Club. So we had a really good conversation. She explained to me that the 2 annual fundraising events that the Women's Club has always traditionally organized has been passed off to 2 different organizations. One of those events was the Photographs with Santa, and that money was used to go directly to aid Litchfield residents in all types of aid, from heating, fuel, food, car repairs, furnace repairs, that kind of stuff. For folks that are really
Clothing
And,
for
and
students, I think, was some of the stuff
Yeah.
that they did.
And then the second fundraiser was the Easter breakfast, or Easter Bunny breakfast, and that all the funds that were raised through that event went directly to scholarship. So they are definitely not disbanding. They just have, at this point in time, have decided not to do those 2 fundraising events. They still want to exist, and they were very interested in receiving funding from the town. And that funding, I explained to them, wouldn't be able to go to scholarship, but it would go for the funds it used to raise during that Santa fundraising event. So with all that being said, I apologize, I've just run out of time on this, but what I'd like to recommend is that now with this information, I need to go back to the Health and Human Services Committee that we met initially with, discuss this concept with them, and bring it back to the board for final ratification. It's going to put us in the new year. So when we talk about encumbrances this evening, I think the $25,000 that was raised at the annual meeting, that full amount be encumbered. And then let the committee continue to work on the funding allocation.
So we'd encumber it and then allocate the 25,000
allocate it,
for
yeah.
Health and Human
I
Services.
received some feedback from a citizen. I think Chairman Weber was copied on that, where there was some concern that the citizens raised 25,000, and we were at the point in time only proposing to allocate out 15,000. I think it was about at that point in time. So I think the input was, well, it deserves merit, and I do think our committee should go back and revisit everything.
And it was also compounded when we learned about the Lions Club and their direct impact to students in the school system and
Yeah.
families in town and how they were helping them. So I think it's good to go back and look at everything we can do.
Okay. So no action required. We'll have to, when we do encumbrances, we'll just have to add 25,000 to the bottom line of encumbrance.
I think it's fantastic. Good work there, because they're a great organization. They've been around for a while.
I had a great conversation, and learned a lot more about the organization. So,
Glad that-
and you know what the good thing is about that
Done a lot for
organization?
the town.
They're not a nonprofit group that's, operating regionally and has some overhead costs. You're talking about dollar for dollar is going back to the Litchfield residents. There's no overhead operating costs. So
Which speaks
every
perfectly
dollar
back
you
into
give
the
is
Health
gonna
and
go
Human
back.
Services and the breadth behind that where we wanted to be.
And they're running it out of their own houses and
It's all volunteer.
using their own money to run this.
Right.
It's just
There's
fantastic.
No $500,000 CEO running the organization.
Yeah, which is great. So next we have the 2019 budget projections. Mr. Brown.
So the last time we went through this, just a week ago, I didn't have all the numbers in from the storm. And at the time I knew I knew it was going to be significant cost. I can't tell you exact penny, down to the penny, but we're somewhere just shy of $40,000 for that storm event. That's overtime, our own staff wages, the extra salt that we had to order, and all the contractor wages. That was a significant event, and I've not seen where we spent that much money on a storm.
It's the last time we
It
had
was-
over 20 inches of snow.
It was
And it was
That's a
long
big hit.
duration.
So-
It wasn't.
The problem was it was long. It was 48 hours.
and that doesn't even count the breakdowns and repair costs
Right.
that we incurred, because we had some trucks that went offline the first storm. So.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Which is a little scary, because just imagine if you're just starting a new budget and you in January you get hit with that kind of costs. Could really be a serious budget concern. So anyhow, the bottom line is our projected unexpended funds is 110,000 at this point in time.
No, Troy, what
Tried
about
to,
tomorrow's?
I tried to work in some guesswork on what the storm event tomorrow will cost.
So you fluff the numbers a little bit.
Yeah,
just to-
yeah. So in tomorrow's event, if you look at the forecast, it's going to
Great word.
It's
Fluff them.
You call it targeting.
Targeting, okay.
tomorrow's event.
We
Even though,
have, we have a snowstorm coming,
I know
We could have a couple more.
and it'll be a lot, 6 inches of fluff.
it's going to be drawn out, so it's going to be another.
Yeah.
We're going to be able
It's
to
gonna
manage.
be
We're going to be able to
14
manage it better, but because it's going to be drawn out, small accumulation over a long time period, it's going to cost you money again.
Yeah, but at least it's
So-
daylight.
Probably a lot of salt.
Best events we can get is 6 inches, at 2:00 in the morning in 1 hour, and we just move it. But So yeah, we're right there. So this is, you're going to see the impact now of when
Not too
we
bad,
talk
though.
about encumbrances, the unexpended fund, is that bottom line shrinking.
Now, you had said before when we were, budget committee, that we had plenty of salt, and we don't have plenty of salt anymore, and
We have it all ordered, and so I've factored in, that we have more salt load coming in.
okay.
Um,
Because that got cut out of the
Yeah,
budget line, if
I
you
know.
remember. So should we
Um,
seek to get that reinstated?
I think that we need to monitor the month of January,
Mhm.
see what happens.
Right,
then
and
we
that
have an
deliberative
opportunity.
stuff.
We have an opportunity to deliberate week,
Okay.
but that will be February 1st.
Right, okay.
So we'll,
We'll have a good handle
Good
by
on the
then.
winter will be behind us, hopefully by then.
yeah, if it continues at this
Although
rate.
2 years ago, March,
It was worse.
we had more snow in March
That's
than we had the entire winter.
When you get it in
Yeah, but
February
really
and
want
March,
the-
it's usually big,
Oh.
heavy, and wet.
Yeah.
It's the fluffy stuff?
No, that's early in the year.
Oh, God.
Next item, the 2019 encumbrances. Mr. Brown.
Hmm.
I like to eat a fluffernutter while I'm watching Fluffy Snow.
All right, so nothing's changed since our last meeting. I shared the encumbrance list, department heads, and the relevant boards and committees. Didn't receive any information back, so that leads me to believe that everyone was comfortable with what we had discussed last week and what I presented. Again, you can see that the 2019 new encumbrances are, the bottom line is showing $136,000. And we just projected that we will have an unexpended balance of 110. It's not uncommon that we take a vote at this point in time to encumber the 136, based on, the condition that funds are available. And we would, sometime in February, I'll come back to this board and we'll take a look and see where the actual numbers ended up. If we don't have the funds available for all the encumbrances, the place that I would be looking at would be the general government buildings, and we would just cut back on the work that we're proposing to do for the heating system upgrade here at the town office, police station.
How about cutting back on the assessing?
That we have a
Mr. Leary, you're a
Every
selectman.
taxpayer in town would love that. That's 50 grand.
No, I know, but that's our,
Let's ask them to give a little bit.
we're obligated to do the update this
Look
year.
what happened in Londonderry because they did it.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion to encumber the 136.
I'd make a motion to encumber the 2019 new encumbrances and 2019 re-encumbrances as presented.
So moved.
Who's making the motion? The
Yeah,
Board of
you said I
Selectmen?
move. You can't do that.
No, he said ID. He
Said
said
I would
ID.
Oh, okay. Kevin did, I'll second. Or
Kurt
did?
made it.
Kurt, sorry.
So motion by Mr. Schaefer, second by Mr. Lemire.
Pending, can we add pending the availability of the funds? as-
Correct.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0.
And then I wanted, because the special warrant article for the $25,000 health and human services, that's not part of the operating budget. So I wanted to have a separate vote on that
Okay.
to encumber the
25,000.
$25,000.
Oh, right,
grant.
'cause that was
But
a warrant.
it's separate from from the operating budget. It's a special warrant article.
I'll move that, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Next item, the 2020 default budget. Mr. Brown.
Again, since our last meeting, I did share this with boards and committees. Didn't receive any input. So I think at this point in time, our numbers are good. This is summary page 1. Yeah. So our default budget as calculated today is $7,050,661.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move we approve the default budget for 2020 of $7,050,661.
Motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 500. The next item is the 2020 draft warrant articles. Mr. Brown.
All right, we'll go through this one more time. Article 2, the operating budget. At this point in time, the Budget Committee hasn't, you don't need to take action on this. They'll be taking formal action after they have their public hearing. Article 3, the full-time highway employee. I think at this point in time, the board could take a position on this article.
I move to approve Article 3.
I second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire, second by Mr. Lynch. All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstained? Article 3 passes 500.
Okay. And for those folks watching at home, Article 3 was to create a full-time highway employee. That position would start July 1st. So it represents the cost, 6 months cost for that employee.
Mhm.
Article 4 is the public safety communication system lease purchase. At the last meeting, the board asked that I reach out to the financing agency we used to do some costing for 8-year term and a 10-year term. So I've broken that out. Below, you can see the 8-year term would take the payment to $96,407 per year. And that would have a tax impact of 10 cents. The 10-year payment would be $79,575 a year with a tax impact of 9 cents. Let me go back to the warrant articles. Oh, sorry. 16
Cents, yeah.
16 cents it was for
So that
the
8's
5
pretty
years.
attractive.
So it's a big, I was actually surprised when we looked at, a 5-year to an 8-year.
That's quite a jump.
I mean, that's 6 cents compared to 8 to 10 is only, and the life of the equipment's about 20 years.
Normally, I would agree with that, but seeing what the total cost is,
Yeah.
795,000 versus 737. If we go with the 5-year plan, there's a lot of interest
But
involved.
the 8 years, 771, so we're looking at, $34,000 difference.
More.
Do we bite the bullet and save 35,000 or?
Yeah.
Or do we just, I'm in favor of paying it ahead. When it's that kind of money. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but
I'm gonna have to agree with Bobby on this, and the reason why I do is because there's gonna be other things coming up. And we're talking just 1 year here for this, but we've got other building problems that we're gonna have to deal with. I really think if you spread it out, you can save some on some of the other stuff. If we don't spread it out, we're gonna save more.
Can I ask you what billing problems you think are coming up?
We're gonna have to deal with the police, we gotta deal with the highway, and we gotta deal with some of the transfer station stuff, repair and maintenance stuff. And the rec hall as well. Okay,
So Kev, did you say you agreed with Bob
yes,
on paying it 5 years?
5-year.
5-year, yep.
Impact of 16
Yep.
cents.
Sometimes just like leasing a car, you don't wanna go too far out, buy used. Do you have any used equipment out there, John? Sorry, okay.
so Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to approve the 5-year plan for $737,370 for the public safety communication systems lease purchase.
We have a motion by Mr. Larry,
Mr. Limit. Second.
second by Mr. Lynch. Any further discussion?
I'd like to add something to this. One of the key components to this whole thing is getting the schools into the communication in this day and age. Okay, right now, the high school or the middle school or the grammar school, you cannot communicate well in those schools. So this is actually going to be a plus for them, for the family and kids. I hate to say that, but in this world we're living in today,
Does this
John,
increase?
this will bring them all into that, correct?
This improves all communications within the school for the public safety departments, but it also extends the usage to the school. It's
Yep.
actually allowed in that inter-school communications. And we also modified it to add the buses on it now too, so the buses will be able to be talked directly to also.
John, have you talked to the school yet about it?
Yeah, I met with Dr. Jetty and his team last week, I think it was.
John, can you come up to the mic?
I wasn't here for this.
That man behind the
I was
curtain is
killing
John
time.
Brunel, our IT
I gotta
director.
go next door. It was killing time. Yeah, I met with Dr. Jetty and his administration team a week ago or so, and they're on board. They like the fact that it'll help their system also. We're just trying to work out position of the tower at at Campbell High School. That's the only real thing we have to work through right now. But they've shared information about the bus connectivity and all that, and we've got all that laid out. We talked to our vendor. They signed on. We're good.
Oh, great. Thank
It's
you.
just really about position. There's a tower going in at Campbell High School, and there's some question where they would like to put it. Right now, they would like to see us put it at the edge of the football field. It's on the Talent Road side. Talent Road, yeah, property line. I don't think that's going to work out very well. I have to go back and we'll work it through. I'm confident that we'll get something on that property. It's just a matter of where it's going to be put. So I think we're good.
thank you,
All
John.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Just it'd be nice to have everybody on the same wavelength,
Oh, definitely.
you know.
Is that a
Really
pun?
Literally too, huh?
No pun intended.
Well, at least you got it. Literally, Bob?
I think you're dealing with.
I know what I'm dealing with.
All those in favor?
I
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 5.
Article 5 raises $5,000 for the library earned time accrual expendable trust fund. And I've explained to you a couple times, I wasn't sure if the board had to make a recommendation on this. I did go back. I knew that I had received some legal guidance a couple years ago. In fact, the selectmen need to make a recommendation because
It's
it's
an
a special
appropriation.
warrant article and it's
Right.
appropriation of funds. So it does require your recommendation or a vote. you know.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve Article 5.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Leary. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 6.
Article 6 is the allocation of $25,000 to help support human services and health agencies provide services to our town. So this is the same article that we appropriated last year that we just talked about.
Move to approve Article 6.
Motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 7.
Article 7 would be the establishment of a general assistance expendable trust fund. The first appropriation would be $10,000. The thought process behind this was having the expendable trust fund would maybe help bring some stability to the operating budget where we wouldn't always just be doing a little guesswork of how much money we would really need to spend every year. So it really is just to bring stability to this line item in our operating budget.
Can you maybe just explain the difference between this and what we talked about earlier?
So-
with the health and
So
human-
what we've been, the difference, this
Yeah.
is the general assistance is direct aid to residents that are in need, and the Board of Selectmen is required by state law to provide assistance. So every year in our operating budget, we raise a certain dollar amount, but we never know exactly how much we need. So some years we've raised $10,000 but never spent a penny. So we've taxed the residents $10,000 and didn't necessarily have to. Other years we've exceeded. Other years we've spent, maybe a couple $1,000s. So in the discussions with Budget Committee and Board of Selectmen, the thought process here is to create an expendable trust fund, just like we do with some of our building maintenance funds and equipment replacement funds, where we'll try to maintain a certain threshold and just monitor it on an annual basis. And basically it'll stop the taxation every year on the unknown.
Helps you ride through the peaks.
I
and
think it
valleys.
makes sense.
does.
It's going to be interesting to see it. We may be one of the, I've not worked in a community that's created one of these funds, and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I knew what it was about. It just, that was an explanation for the people sitting at
Yeah.
home, so they understand the difference. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept it. Do we already accept it? Or? No, we haven't.
No. So we have a motion by Mr. Schaefer.
Second,
Couple seconds.
give it to him.
Second by Mr. Lynch. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 8.
All right, Article 8 is Dara Pond milfoil treatment. This would raise $35,000 for a treatment process that's going to span a period of 3 years. This is down at Dara Pond. It has invasive weeds in it. Some of them are native, and some are been brought here from wild geese or boats or whatever. So, but this would, the first year would be where all the major work would be. The next 2 years would be more of a maintenance.
Can we have a
Chairman, I'll
landing
move
place to have the geese wipe their feet before they go into the
We're gonna put up some signs.
It's usually the people, not the geese. Bringing in on boats and
That's an
canoes and paddles and.
I'll move to approve Article 8 because I think it's extremely important to protect our resources that we have. And coming from Northwood, like I did, we actively involved in protecting Northwood Lake, Bow Lake, all of the lakes. And I believe there may be, which will be good, if we approve this, there may be some grants or money from the state to assist in this process.
I will second that because I would like to have the old swimming hole brought back to life. That's where we used to swim in this when we were growing up here.
That's what happened.
So we have a motion by Mr. Lemare, a second by Mr. Lynch. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 9.
I learned to swim at Redfields, Kevin, by the way.
So did I. We had salt shakers to get the leeches off us.
Don't wind them up. I was gonna say.
Article 9 would raise and appropriate $25,000 from the unassigned fund balance to paint the old town hall. There'd be no tax impact using the unassigned fund balance.
Again, I'll move to approve this. We have to protect, that is an incredibly valuable historical resource that needs to be protected.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemare,
I'll second that one.
second by Mr. Lynch. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 10.
Article 10 would purchase a plow truck. This would be more than just a plow truck. It would come with the plow and a wing and all the equipment that comes with our plow trucks. It raises and appropriates $100,000. We would use the $100,000 from the unassigned fund balance. This would be a cash purchase. Would be no impact to the 2020 tax rate. Sorry.
So this would replace one of the orange.
So
Sure.
it's going to replace one of those orange trucks. They're what, 20,
Yeah.
over 20 years old.
Right,
It's going to be a smaller vehicle.
okay.
So bigger than a landscaper's 1 ton. But it would not require a commercial driver's license class B to operate. So we still would have a plow, still have a sander, and we would still have a wing. But it is going to be a smaller truck than those. We have the 2 large trucks that are fairly new.
Mhm.
And then we have the 2 old state trucks, surplus trucks that are at the end of their life.
I believe one of those old orange ones had an issue the last time.
Yeah,
It still has one.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve Article 10, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemare,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 5-0-0. Article 11.
Article 11 would raise and appropriate $50,000 for our Building Systems Trust Fund. This is how we repair our buildings. The reason we're taking the fund, we're recommending funding from the unassigned fund balance. Again, no tax impact. This is going to replenish the fund after we do the install at Town Hall for the heating system.
Move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 500. Article 12.
Article 12 is the raise and appropriate $25,000 from the unassigned fund balance to replenish the technology and communication expendable trust fund. And as you recall, about 2 meetings ago, the board authorized the use of about 25,000, wasn't it 22,000, from this fund to update our server equipment, the storage.
Move to approve Article 12, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Lemire.
Second.
Couple seconds.
Oh.
Second by Mr. Schaefer. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 500. Article 13.
We don't need to recommend this. It's a non-money article.
Yeah,
Oh, it's true.
but you
Nor
can,
does the
but if you
budget
want, the
committee.
budget committee won't.
The Budget Committee doesn't have to either.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've talked about it, you might want to tell the people at home what it's about.
That's a very good idea, Mr. Leary. But, there's nothing that says we can't.
You can.
We can give our recommendation.
So it might, if we agree with it, it might be to the benefit of the townspeople that if we do.
I think it would.
Sure.
I think it would. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to read. Are you in favor of the Recreation Commission investigating the need to construct a community center, investigating the cost of such a center, and developing drawings and designs of such a center? This is a non-binding vote on the community center design. I'll move to approve Article 13.
Motion by Mr. Lemire,
Second.
second by Mr. Schaefer. Any discussion?
It's important to just note that we're not recommending that this get done. It's just that we investigate the rec commission being able to construct the building. Okay?
Correct.
And it's not actually approving a building. Yeah, yep, all the above, okay?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstained? Motion carries 500. We don't have to comment on Article 14 because it's by petition, or do we just want to?
It's a petition.
We have the right to
You have the right to if you wish, but
approve or not approve.
you don't need to take action on that one this evening.
Um,
Because I've not actually looked at what the financial impact could be.
Okay.
By increasing these exemption amounts.
So that's
Before
all-
you discuss it and take action on it, if you wanted to, you'd want to know that. So,
Right, because there is a fiscal impact. on it.
yeah,
So you need
Okay,
to figure that out.
I need to figure it out. It's not,
Okay.
I don't
The
think
lady
it's gonna-
decided-
I don't think it's gonna be that easy, but
Mm-mm.
it's not, is it? No.
No, that's, no.
My only concern on this would be if people own multiple properties, say they own one in Litchfield and they own one in Florida.
They can't.
They can't. Okay, thanks.
You'd have to investigate that and make sure they're not getting it someplace else. But
Okay.
by law, you can.
But even
only
so,
have
if
it
you
in
own a
one
house here
place.
and a house there, you probably don't need the exemption. And save it for the people that really do.
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes the warrant articles. Administrator report, Mr. Brown.
Whoa.
It's not in here.
TA report. Attending. Oh, so just two things. Tomorrow I'm in Concord, attending the
Yay.
Certified Public Manager Program. That wraps it up for the year. And also, if things go right tomorrow with, I don't know, with the weather pending, but the Town Hall heating system is scheduled to be delivered tomorrow at about 7:30 in the morning. And if everything goes well, they're going to try to have it all hooked up and operating by the end of the day. So we'll
Snow
see.
day for that?
We'll see.
That's great.
I have a
It's a
question.
lot of work to do in one day. I don't know.
It is.
if They really can do that.
You gotta
but
move everything, fencing, everything, get it in and out of there.
They have a crane.
They're gonna drop it in?
They're gonna,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, being that it's 7:15, I'll open up to public input. And seeing there's nobody here from the public this evening, we'll close public input.
I have a question.
Sure.
The TA's report attending a CPM. Explain that.
You just said.
Certified, so I'm in a 2-year program. So it's a program offered by the state of New Hampshire to all of its employees. And it's a certification program. Level 1 is supervisor. You need to take level 1 before I can go on to the second level, which is the public manager certification. So I'm attending a class and we're covering things, leadership, how to conduct performance reviews, how to manage change, how to budget, and it's all training for public employees. It's specifically for state employees, but they open it up to school teachers, county employees, town employees. I'm attending. There's another town administrator attending. There's some business. Yeah, it's really interesting because we sit in a room.
The acronym is Certified Public Manager.
Yeah, CPM.
The certification when you get done is called Certified Public Manager.
Another initial you can put behind your name.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
It's been very rewarding. I'm sitting with peers and we're networking and
That's important.
It's been a lot of work.
I just had to
full day
ask.
commitment and
I never seen it's enough.
Okay, Selectmen report, Mr. Lynch.
We had a meeting at the the planning board for a compliance hearing, which was postponed to a date. And once that date comes up, I'll know about it. Okay,
Thank you.
that's about it.
Mr. Schaefer.
Well, Recreation Commission, we got feedback from Christmas in Litchfield, and they now want to run. They want to set up a skating rink, which is financially impossible this year. But they also want to run an Easter egg hunt this spring for the Easter time. So that's really that's all we had.
They're growing. I have nothing to report from conservation since we haven't met since the last Selectmen's meeting. Mr. Lemire?
The Heritage Commission met Tuesday, and we are researching the property. There's a property on Colby Road that has submitted permit for demolition, and just waiting for historical data on that.
Mr. Leary?
Budget meeting Thursday again. We've been meeting pretty regular. This week, Troy will be coming to present his warrant articles, and hopefully we finish the school budget.
Oh, great. Seeing we had no items removed from consent, we had no other business. We do have 2 more items this evening on non-public sessions. One is RSA 91A:32A, employee compensation, and another one for RSA 91A:32A, employee compensation. Do we have a motion for non-public?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Lemire. Roll call. Mr. Lynch?
Aye.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
I am yes. Mr.
Yes.
Lemire?
Aye.
We are now in non-public. We thank everybody for watching. Everyone have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and a joyous holiday season. Thank you.
I'll be home for Christmas.